So this is my no filter, no ferts tank. And it's seen better days. Now what happened though is I went and I cleaned it for this video. So I went in this tank and I kind of ripped up a lot of the algae, and I still see some hair algae and stuff here and there. Barely, I can see, because the water's gone kind of green. So I was going this way before I started working on it. So, but I pulled some stuff out of here multiple times and kind of spot cleaned it here and there. And what I think I've done is I must have, I don't know if I had some detergent on my hands. Maybe I just washed my hands or something like that, and I just messed something up in here, and we've got an algae bloom. It's like kind of like the new tank syndrome that you see. Now, basically, it's a 20-gallon tank. I'm not sure how much this dirt is making up for that, but it's about a 20-gallon tank. There's one fish in it and a whole bunch of shrimp. So one thing, I've actually never had green water before. I think this happened with my very first fish tank. It was a little 6-gallon that I got for Valentine's Day, and I washed the filter out in the sink and just put it right back in there. So I chlorinated basically all of my bacteria, and the exact same thing happened. So I'm thinking I must have not met sanitary precautions for this tank, and I've fogged it out. So something I've always heard that's good for this, and I haven't really ever needed it for that, I use it for something else, and I'll show you that in a minute, is a UV sterilizer. It just so happens I've got a silhouette of a UV sterilizer right here. So I've opened this on one of my little shopping videos years ago. So long ago. I'm going to shake it for emphasis. Years ago. And I've never used it. So I finally have an opportunity. I'm not sure how the inhabitants of this place are gonna dig, like there being a current inside of this thing. It'll be interesting to see how that goes. But the other thing is, I actually used this once before. I tested it out on another tank, and like I said, we'll get to that in a minute. And it's got an extremely low water flow, and then I looked in the instructions and it said it's supposed to. So it's got a really, really weak motor on here, so it's not going to disturb this too much. Not like the other one that I have that's literally like it's a pretty strong flow, let me put it that way. So I know you can't see this, so I'll probably put some B-roll or something to show you what this filter actually looks like. It's one you can pretty commonly get from PetSmart and stuff. It does have these bulbs that can be replaced and removed. I wish I've seen these on clearance like a million times. I wish I'd bought some. But anyway, here we go. It's a nice little setup. A lot of cables, a lot of wire. You got basically two plug. No, you got a plug and like this little plug manager here. So you want to make sure your drip loop, this is up above your drip loop, of course, for safety. And then we got one outlet, one plug, two prongs. That sounded dirty for some reason. So I'll move this around. Yeah, all this has in it right now is a heater. So it's nice and warm. What I don't like is there's not really an indicator light in here to show me that it's working. It has one on this little cord wrangler thing, but not like on the bulb. Like you can't see the bulb lit up, of course. The other one does have a little window that somehow makes it okay. So this will be interesting to see if a UV light would just clear that up. Probably not the most natural way to take care of that. I think if I threw a sponge filter in here or something, I'd probably be able to fix it overnight too. But I was curious about the UV filter there. Alright, so this is my other UV filter. It's a little hard to see. It's right here. I'll pump up, overexpose a bit so you can see it. It's a dark gray, of course, which I appreciate for being able to hide it and stuff. The way this aquascaping is in this tank, there's no hiding it, right? So I could have probably put it in that corner, but I got some other stuff going on in there. I might eventually put it there to make it prettier if I have to do this for very long. But I added some rice fish to this tank, and they're very pretty, but one of them had ick. And then I went and I was like, well, I wonder if the water's warm enough. I went and checked, and no, a heater has failed in the best way. And by that it means, it didn't explode, but it just turned off. So it's a little chilly in here, especially in the wintertime. And a lot of these guys didn't mind. The shrimp don't care. Most of these other ones didn't care, but these rice fish had ick kind of crawling on them. They didn't have them when they came in, so I figured they just got stressed in here, and it came out. It's kind of sits latent in a lot of fish. And what I usually do to treat it, well, one, I fixed the heater, so the heater's repaired, and it's heating up to about 78 degrees. That's not enough to kill it. All that really does is accelerate the process for the egg. The way it works is it's going to turn into these little cysts, and then they'll fall off, and then they'll eventually hatch and start swimming around and attach to things. What this is doing is it's sucking them up, running them through a UV light, sterilizing them so they can't reproduce, and spitting them back out. So that's how UV sterilizers work. This is a rather big one. I've used it a couple of times for ick, especially ick. It works really well. For some reason, I'm thinking in the instructions it said to leave this out. I think it could be to like put an airline in to further aerate the water or something, but I also sort of remember it saying to leave it out. So, and right now I haven't run the cord any fancy way. It's just kind of coming out the side. I'm hoping this is a really temporary thing. So, but yeah, that's the other thing I use a UV sterilizer for. In fact, it's until this week, it's about the only thing I ever used a UV sterilizer for. I'm doing a little treatment. I probably should pull this guy out, but I'm already seeing it on the other ones. Not the ember tetras, but some of these other fish have just a couple of spots. So I'm hoping maybe I can just catch it really early with this and just treat everybody in here at once. I don't want to put medication like methylene blue or anything like that in there. I don't think that really works on ick anyway. A lot of people say to turn the temperature up. It really just makes the cycle happen faster. What I'm trying to do instead is just mitigate the problem, which is that my heater failed, most likely. So I've got heat in here again, the way it ought to be. This will run for a couple of days, weeks, months, however long it takes for that ick to kind of work its way out. And hopefully it'll be alright, and I won't have to pull anybody out of there. Alright, it's been about 24 hours, and I am seeing some improvement. It's still foggy, but I can see through there. Before I was having trouble even really making out what the middle part was on here. And this isn't a perfect representation because I was shooting it with my camera before, and now I'm using my phone, but yeah. Definitely some improvement there in the past 2 days. Alright, so it's day 3. And it's looking a little bit better. I think I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of this. This is called stability. I had this just sitting around. This seems like the appropriate time to maybe give this one a little boost. I'll tell you guys something. I'm not even sure this works. It was on sale. It's not expired. So I thought, why not? Why not give it a try? I actually got this because I couldn't get across town to get the really good bacteria that they sell in the refrigerator and stuff. I thought it might be a nice experiment to kind of add this into here and see if it accelerates this process any. best I can tell, this is a near 100% recovery. It's pretty much crystal clear all the way through here. Definitely not the green water scenario we had before. I'll be taking this pump out and we'll see if it relapses or anything. If it does, I'll let you know on a future update. But boy, combination of this filter and maybe adding a little bit of this. I'm not sure how much this had to do with it, but add a little bit of this also to kind of help it along. And it seems to have made a full recovery. Thank goodness. Looks a lot better too. I still need to go in there and clean up this algae. But I think I'm going to make sure my hands are really rinsed off and clean first, and take my watch off and everything. Anything that could possibly cause a relapse in here, I definitely will do. None of my animals seem affected at all. My betta is doing good. I've got shrimp running around everywhere. So everybody seems to be pretty happy right now. And I'm happy too, because it looks nice and clean in here. And what great timing, because I'm doing the all aquarium update. That's what I was cleaning the tank for, where I'm going to show off all my aquariums and my enclosures. We're going to take a look around. That is releasing on Christmas Day, and I'm hoping that you all will join me for this video. It's going to be pretty intensive. I'm going to cover every aquarium I've got, every aquarium I've set up, going back for quite a few years. So it should be an interesting video, and I can't wait to see you all there. So until next time, follow your bliss, keep a clean tank, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.